Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Have Your Say Club's Tete-a-Tete show. In this show, we talk to the members of our club about their life experiences. जिंदगी का सफर तभी सुहाना होता है जब हम पॉजिटिविटी से जिए. And today we will be talking to a powerhouse of positivity, Pragati Dixit ma'am. Pragati ma'am is a retired Kendria Vidhyalaya principal and she's a very talented singer. She has a keen interest in gardening and she has played the role of a motivator for many budding entrepreneurs. Pragati ma'am, welcome to the Tete-a-Tete show.
Thank you, Aparna ma'am, for asking me here to come here on the platform and where I could share my experience with the people. And I'm so happy about it. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, ma'am. Ma'am, since the day I have met you, I have had one question in my mind. Your surname Dixit is quite interesting. Are you related to Madhuri Dixit, ma'am, in some way?
Um, it is Madhuri Dixit. Oh, many people have asked me this question that whether I'm related to Madhuri Dixit or not. But really, I'm not related to her. But it's very funny. And people find that I'm telling them something lie. I want to hide something. But why should I hide about it? I would be so happy if she would have been my relative. And but it's not so. It doesn't happen.
Anyway, we all know Madhuri Dixit is the epitome of beauty. And today we will be talking to a beauty with brains. So, ma'am, we all understand that you are from the state of Maharashtra, but now you are settled in the city of Jaipur. Can you let us know how you have, come from Maharashtra and settled in Jaipur?
I was only born in Santa Cruz, Mumbai. But since my father was in railways, he was transferred to Gangapur city earlier and then to Kota. So my education was completed in Rajasthan itself. And because we were here in Rajasthan, we know much more about Rajasthan than about Maharashtra. So we feel we are Rajasthanis now.
Okay. So you have come to Rajasthan with your parents when your father got transferred,
Yeah.
but then you stayed in Rajasthan again after marriage
Yeah.
when you got married. So how is the family in Rajasthan? Your husband's family?
Um, it's a history that when Raja Jai Singh thought of preparing, having a city, planned city, he invited Panch Dravid. That is five kind of Brahmins. They were invited: Telang, Bhatt, and then Dravids, and then Mahashabdes, and Marathis. So it was during that period that some Marathi families they shifted from Kashi to Jaipur, and the ancestors were all belonging to Kashi, and I don't know how many generations have gone in between, and this is how the family was here in Jaipur. And my father-in-law was a great scholar of Rigved. He was even honored by Dr. Needham Sanjay Reddy for that. And all Sanskrit scholars used to come to see him. So that is how were here in Jaipur. And since my husband was born in Jaipur, brought up in Jaipur, naturally he's more a Jaipurite. And that is why when I got married, I came here because I was also in Rajasthan.
That's a very interesting history, ma'am. Right from Raja Jai Singh, the Maharashtrians have settled in Rajasthan. That's indeed
Yes.
a novel idea we have understood
Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and then you also mentioned that you completed education in Rajasthan.
Yes.
I wanted to know, ma'am, how you were driven towards the education sector. Was education sector your first choice?
Yes, definitely. Education system was my first choice. I was inspired by two of my teachers. One was English teacher, Madam Prema Dubey, and that was in 1970s. when nobody could think of a single woman and a single parent, and that kind of a life she was leading at that time, 1975, when even ladies were not allowed to even enter the schools. Girls were not educated, and she was very bold. She taught us to be firm on the decisions. And second teacher was Miss Bhajanjit Kaur, who pushed a crying baby to NCC to transform her into a bold woman. That's it. So those two were the inspiration. So I thought, if they can change my life, if I become a teacher, I can also change the life of many people. And that is what inspired me to become a teacher. That was my passion.
Great, ma'am. Great, ma'am. And obviously, after completing education, we think about jobs. I remember
Yes,
still my first job, and our first jobs always imbibe some values in us. What I
definitely.
learned in my first job was sitting in one place for 8 hours continuously, because we get to used to a free life in college, attending lectures, having breaks, even bunking lectures. So you must have also had such experiences from your first few jobs. Can you
Yes.
share those experiences and memories with us?
Definitely, definitely. Uh, my first job, I had applied for railways and I got selected for the clerical job. But then, as it happens, court cases were there and the job was delayed. I couldn't get that job at that very moment. And during that time, I completed my B.Ed. After that, I decided no looking back. Final. I have to be a teacher then. And when I was thinking of appearing for the B.Ed, I had already applied for a private school. And I remember that Joyce Fernandez was the principal. And what values I learned there, I can never forget. She always said that, see, don't forget that it is the poor people who bring their children to our private school and English to learn English. So be compassionate to those rickshawalas, tangawalas, and the thelawalas who are bringing their children here. So, that values that they had, helping the poor people, was a great value. That they have the dream and they will only go ahead. And they were ready to do anything for the children. If any teacher was standing by, they would ask for the rickshaw. They would never take any payment from the teachers. See the values they had. कि नहीं आप मेरे बच्चे के teacher हो. So that compassion I learned from that place, and how to give value to the even the lowest section of the society. That is how I learned from there. And second thing I learned from that school is teaching, and being a teacher is not only teaching on the blackboard. It is teaching the values, teaching the discipline. What we taught in the B.Ed, it is all theoretical. But practically, teacher is not only this. She has to be compassionate. She has to solve the problems in the class. So every other aspect has to be seen. So that I learned from that job. Later, I resigned, and for coming into a government sector, I went in to join Kendria Vidhyalaya, Bharatpur, as a postgraduate teacher. That was my first government job.
That's great, ma'am. That's great. So Bharatpur was not your hometown when you joined your first job?
Uh, no, Bharatpur was not my hometown at all. It was at least 6 hours away from, I mean, by railway distance, 6 hours journey from Kota to Bharatpur. But since my father was in railways, it wasn't difficult for me to do. And it's my father who supported me a lot. He came all the way to Bharatpur, and from there, from to the school, he made me join there. And after that, he saw a room for me. He purchased everything for me there. I mean, the bed, the shed, the water, utensil, bucket, this and that, whatever. Till the time I was in the school for 5, 6 hours, he did everything ready for me at home. From stove to every utensil, he did whatever he thought is necessary for the daughter. He did that.
So
And
your
my brothers always kept coming to me every Saturday, Sunday. So there was a great support from my family.
That's great, ma'am. So your first job itself was away from home, and I
Away from home.
understand, yeah, and I understand central government employees do get transferred or like to different cities.
Yes.
So you must have got transferred even after marriage, having kids, and all that.
Yes, I was transferred. After having kids, also, I was transferred.
So
And
how did do you manage, like, when getting transferred with the family, how did you manage your time with the job and the family together?
See, it is the woman who has to teach values to the children, number one. Uh, See, fulfilling the demands of the children is one thing, and teaching them how to do the things in smoother way is another thing. I had taught my children one thing, to be independent, and I used to tell them very small things to do in the family. I mean, keeping their uniforms ready for the morning, keeping the uniform on the hanker, their shoes, socks, everything, shoes polished, socks ready, handkerchief, their bags are ready, so that they have a very smooth morning when they go to the school. I mean, my children never bothered me about anything. So that's a support from my children also, both my son and my daughter. And my daughter was a great help. I mean, great help. I mean, she took care of her brother also. And she would see, if in case if he asked for something, she would never disturb me in the morning, because she knew that mommy has to complete all the other course and she has to run to the school. So she used to go on a cycle. So that is how she also helped me a lot. So my children also helped me a lot in this job. They were independent, small things they all could do it. Their homework they were doing it by themselves. So this is how I could manage it. Moreover, when I was out of the station, I mean at my service station, I was there. I used to prepare all the goodies in that 4 5 days. And when I used to come here, I used to bring all goodies ready for them, so that I don't have to stand here and make the goodies for the children, because that is their time. It was a quality time. So I shouldn't snatch them. I told them one thing: if you snatch my time, it is your problem. I will snatch your time. So it's better both of us keep your things ready, so that we can have quality time together. So that is how we did. And this is
Okay.
how I managed.
Okay, ma'am. So whenever you were transferred to any other city and your children stayed back in your hometown, then who took care of your children that time?
I wish every woman should have a husband like I have, number one. And I'm also thankful to my mother in law for developing such values in her sons, that is to have respect for womanhood. And he was the biggest support I have. अगर भगवान के बाद कोई दूसरा support है तो वो ही है. And he took up the charge. He said, "Don't worry about it." I was going to quit my promotion, but he said, "No, you have to go. You take your promotion." My children also wanted me to go. They said, "We'll take care of each other, all three of us, and you go ahead." And then he just shifted. Was in a regular job in a private sector, so he shifted from his regular job to his own business. He set up a business slowly and gradually, then he developed it. But for children, he did that. He really shifted his career.
That's indeed a very progressive.
And I'm always thankful to him, always thankful to him.
Yeah, and indeed, every working woman needs support from home. Like
Yeah,
even I was a working woman, I realize like it is utmost important that we get support from home.
support from home.
That's amazing.
Without that, you just cannot imagine to do all these things. And
Yeah,
it is the first time I'm speaking it on this platform.
that's great.
I mean, I never could do it, though I wanted always to do this, to thank my children and my husband, but I couldn't do it.
That's great, ma'am.
Yeah.
And with all the support, I think so. We have flying colors in our jobs also. Like we tend to do better in our jobs with all this support.
Yes,
So you
it
must
is
have
only.
had a lot of accomplishments and awards also in your job. Can you share with us
Uh,
those?
See, first thing I remember that when I joined in Kendria Vidhyalaya Bharatpur, it was only 10th day. And my principal told me to escort a team to Jodhpur. And that team was to be prepared within 3 days. The team was to be prepared with a Marathi dance, with the exhibition. So imagine in 3 days an exhibition to be put up and a dance to be set up. It was so difficult for me, but thankfully that was postponed to 3 more days. So I got 6 days in hand, and then I completed and did that for the first time. And even I didn't know that I could do it. I didn't know about my talent, but it is how the principal, he recognized and he gave me a chance to go ahead. So development of personality also comes through other people. It is through my principal. Then in Kendria Vidyalaya number 2, Jaipur, I was asked by my principal to speak on biotechnology, which was a very new subject. And when I asked him how he got the idea, he said, no, the librarian said she's the one who keeps looking at all the magazines. And at that time, it was very difficult for me because my son was too small. He was just 2 to 3 years old. And it was my daughter also was not very big. She was just 8 to 9 years. All household scores were there, joint family. And I used to write the script in the night at 11, after 11 or so, like then. I mean, and it was my principal who arranged all India radio people to come to for that lecture to listen. And then I got my first break for All India Radio for this lecture on biotechnology. I mean, it is, some other people also help to mold you. Then in Jaipur itself, I had National Social Science exhibition, all India level, and where I was the in charge for culturals. I mean, arranging the judges and the venues, and then all other things to be arranged for this classical music competition, song competition, solo competition, and skit competition. I mean, the judges from the universities and the National Schools of Drama, they were shocked to see those performances. They said, Ma'am, we are so thankful that you called us here. So this national camps were given to me by the commissioners uh, of Kendriya Vidyalayas. Then there was a social science exhibition. Then it was a national games were held in Jaipur. So there I was given the charge of Taekwondo. So imagine, it was just an event, not a games. It was a full event, handling 400 girls, making their stay arrangement in the school building, their all facilities to be provided there, food, lodging, entertainment, everything was to be settled over there. So all that was a thing. And then there was a principals conference. It happened only once in the whole time, that there was a principals conference in Mount Abu, where Madam Urmil Meena was there, who was a local principal of Mount Abu. She was there, and with her, I was there in her team to manage those things and to have handle all 1,000 and more than 1,000 principals in Mount Abu. And we had a very good cultural show there about Rajasthan. Means we wanted to show them glimpses of Rajasthan culture at that Mount Abu home. So again, I was there at the back end to have what is to be done, how it is to be done, and what kind of things to be there. Though all principals were there to have their own, because every school was given one charge. This chances to be done by you, this group song for you, this is that. I mean, this is how we had to arrange it up. So all those facilities, and then naturally, when people appreciate you, you feel so proud. Even if you are not recognized in newspapers but if your department realizes that you are a person, you can do it. They give you the responsibilities. That means you have that ability. That's it.
Yeah, ma'am.
And
Yeah.
I'm thankful to the officers who all gave me those responsibilities, which I never knew that I could do it, but it happened.
Yeah,
And it
that's
was a
the,
great
yeah.
success. They still remember, Northeast people still remember that the way we were treated in KV4 Jaipur, it was wonderful.
Yeah, the education sector not only I think so develops skills in teaching, but then like you have said that you manage so many events, you have
Yes.
handled logistics. So these
Hmm.
are the attributes all
Yes.
the employees develop in time.
Yes, in
So you
time.
must have also got awards for starting up something or accomplishing some, tasks. So can you share those? Like, what are
Okay.
the awards?
See, in it was, I don't remember exactly the year, when it was the 50th anniversary of independence. There was a great show at KV number 1 Jaipur, and every school had to put up a show. And from our school, we had prepared that again the glimpses of Rajasthani dances, which I again repeated in this national sports also. When we had the opening ceremony, we had that glimpses there also. And at places like Dungarpur. When I was posted at Dungarpur, it was a very new area and an unknown place for me, and I didn't know anybody. So it was only one clerk who reached before me at Dungarpur, and he helped me to make the stay arrangement. I stayed in a hotel and worked hard for the school. I mean, it was from 6 o'clock morning till 6 o'clock in the evening. We were working like mads. People really called me कि पागल है ये ऐसे मतलब. And when I tried for the plantation, they said कि पत्थरों में कैसे उगेगा, and it's just not possible. I said no. If you say it's not possible, then though I'll make it possible. And we had the plantation in the school, and then in 2 years those plants grew into trees. And there were some papaya trees also which I had planted. Before I left the school, I made sure that the children could taste the papaya. So that's how I did that. And I had no playground for the school because it was a hostel which was given to us for the temporary accommodation for school. So I asked the principal, which was just lying in that area. I asked him, I said, sir, can I have your ground for some days? He said, इतने कांटे उगे हुए हैं, उसमें क्या करोगी? I said, वो तो मैं कर लूंगी सर, आप मेरे बच्चों का स्पोर्ट्स डे मनाने की इजाजत दे दो. I gave a writing application to the collector also and to the principal also, and he gave me that. And when they saw the way we did that sports day, they it was such a show. It was such a beautiful show that Dungarpur had never seen earlier for such a small school. I mean, first to fifth school. So that appreciation was there. And then 20th January, I was shocked that somebody made a call. There was a Marathi doctor. He called me up, ma'am, you are getting an award. I said, what award? He said, नहीं आपका नाम है अखबार में. मैंने बोला मैंने नहीं देखा. He said, no, कलेक्टर ने आपको अवार्ड दिया है. मुझे तो विश्वास ही नहीं हुआ पहले तो कि हाउ कैन इट बी पॉसिबल. उन्होंने कहा नहीं मैं कार लेकर आ रहा हूँ और आपको चलना है सीधे. एंड हियर आई हैड प्लान माय स्कूल फंक्शन. एंड सो आई टोल्ड से मेरा भाषण पहले कर दूंगी मैं, एंड देन जो बच्चों को प्राइज देना है वो पहले दे दूंगी, बाद में डांस वांस जो करने बच्चों के बाद में करो, सो दैट आई कैन गो देयर. एंड दिस इज हाउ आई हैड टू चेंज द होल सिचुएशन and go reach there by 9 o'clock because we had to be seated at a correct time. And Kanakmal Katara was the one who was Mahila Bal Vikas Mantri. He gave me the award at Dungarpur.
Yeah. So getting a collector's award is really, really an amazing feat, ma'am. And
Yes.
you have led a very proactive life. That's what we understand from our conversation today.
Yeah.
A proactive life with really busy schedules. So after retirement, how did you keep up the momentum, like of being busy or being usefully occupied?
I was very much worried about this before my retirement, what I'll do. So I planned it earlier. I had joined Maharashtra Mahila Mandal, uh, where I'm a treasurer. Though because of the COVID and all this year, we did not have much activities, but we are trying to promote the entrepreneurs. I mean, there are some Marathi ladies who are trying to come into business. So by networking, I'm trying to help them out in some way or the other. And in future also, I want to give everything to society because now we don't want anything. Everything what we have received, bas Bhagwan ne bahut kuch diya hai. So I want to give it back to the society. So I'm planning ki I could do something good for the girls counseling and those who are in distress or those who cannot speak out. I want to become a voice for those people. So that is, I mean, I'm thinking on these lines. I don't know how I'll do it and when I'll do it, but it is in the pipeline that I'm going to do this. And during my school days also, when I was a principal, we were having programs for child care, Cry. I mean, I was helping for Cry, Help Age India. So these are some organizations. Then Smile was an organization where we used to collect donations. So these are all the things I was already doing with my school days also. So today also I'm doing that.
So after retirement, are you also nurturing some hobbies of yours?
Definitely, I'm doing all gardening and my crochet, everything. I was very good at crochet, so I have started it again. And singing. I was mad for singing. And, my background was that my father was a very good singer. He used to play harmonium, and my brothers, both of them, till date, also, they sing wonderful. And one of them has just retired. And when in during the childhood, when we used to sit have Sunday, we all three, my brothers, my father, we used to sing together and have nice fun that day. So that, passion, some way, sometimes, you remember your parents, your brothers, everybody else. So it's still there in me, and I love singing. Means whenever I feel sad, or I feel, oh, I'm tensed, I just put the radio on. And right from my childhood, I used to put the radio on at 5:30 in the morning, that is Marathi songs, and then 6 o'clock, say Hindi song. And then till 11 o'clock, मेरा मैं सोती विविध भारती खत्म होने की बात थी. That was my passion for music.
Ma'am, we would really like to hear you singing, ma'am. Can you sing one song for us today?
Oh, Aparna ma'am, you caught me, huh? Anyway, I'll sing for you.
Yeah.
ओ कांटों से खींच के आंचल, तोड़ दी बंधन बांधी पायल, हो कोई न रोके दिल की जुबां को, दिल वो चला आज फिर जीने की तमन्ना है, आज फिर मरने का इरादा है.
That's great, ma'am. Great. You also gave a music in the end. That
Yeah.
shows your Josh. It's really great, ma'am. It has been wonderful talking to you, ma'am. I would repeat, you are a powerhouse of positivity. Thank you so much, ma'am, for spending your time with us. You have
Thank
turned
you.
our Thursday evening into a melodious evening.
I'm so thankful, Aparna, that you made me so comfortable with your questions. Earlier, when I was asked about to interview and that to live, I was so worried. I said, live interview. I thought at this stage, how will I recollect the number, the dates, the years, the eras, and what all datas I would need? But you made me so comfortable. Thank you so
Thank you,
much for
ma'am.
that.
Thank you, ma'am, so much.
Thank
Indeed, the
you.
secret to a great life, I think so, ma'am, is taking everything positively.
Yeah,
That's the time
because
as in.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
everybody has some or the other negative in his life.
yeah.
But if
Thank
you
you.
keep on reminding that negativity, it is only going to add the stress on you. So it's better to forget all the negativities and remember whatever good this person had done. What fun we had with him when we talked, where we went there together. So that is the good memory should always be carried with you, and negativity should be stopped. So
Thank you,
that is
ma'am.
the thing.
Thank you, ma'am, for this really great message.
Thank you.
It
Thank
has
you.
been a wonderful evening today with ma'am. We will be again next Thursday with another Tete-a-Tete show with an amazing member of Have Your Say Club. Until then, take care and have a very joyful festival ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.